Salazar, what kind of pressures then are these countries under from the outside as trying to get the lumber and trying to use the rainforest in a way to generate some money?
Well, in the case of the Amazon is the world's largest forest. It's the most mega diverse, biologically and culturally diverse place on the planet. It is also where 1/5 of the world's water comes from. It's, so it's a large source of water. You pretty much hit the nail on the head when you said deforestation is directly related to shortage of water. Actually, the Amazon right now is facing a drought. It's in the 3rd year of a drought, and scientists say that when there's a drought in the Amazon, that actually could cause serious implications for climate change. Countries in Latin America have been pressured by entities, by banks, by corporations to extract natural resources like lumber, like oil, like natural gas, like minerals. And they are under that pressure to take out natural resources. But there is also an issue of inequality in how those resources are being extracted and who it's benefiting. Right now, U.S. agribusiness companies, some of the largest companies in the world, companies such as ADM, Cargill, Bunge, they're taking advantage of planting soy, for example.
But that's actually something that I wanted to address.
U.S. corporations are directly benefiting from resource extraction in Latin America. And, it is our responsibility as huge players in the world, it is our responsibility to hold the U.S. companies, our U.S. government, U.S. financial institutions accountable when they're profiting from rainforest destruction. 150 acres of rainforest are destroyed every minute. It may, as Mr. Toledo mentioned, it may seem like there's endless rainforests, but 20% of the Amazon is gone. We need to hold U.S. corporations accountable to high standards. They can't go to another country and not, and think that they could just take advantage of the people. I mean, there's actually slaves working on soy fields in the Amazon.
But should the U.S. then have a role in reversing this trend?
Yes, just because we deforest, just because we have only 4% of our ancient forests left, do we want to send that same model to the rest of Latin America? Do we want the Amazon to dry up? If the Amazon dries up, we will not have any rain in North America. The rain clouds that we get in North America are formed in the Amazon. We will have no irrigation for our crops. What are we going to eat? This is directly related to climate change, and we need to hold U.S. corporations accountable to high standards. They can't just deforest the Amazon.
Background Program Director at Rainforest Action Network.
It certainly is a major problem. The funny thing about the trade agreements, like, for example, the WTO, when a country signs on to the WTO, they actually sign on for the WTO to be able to supersede that country's own laws. What that means is that democracy doesn't work anymore. The people don't have a right. They don't vote for the WTO. They don't vote for the trade agreement. The people vote for their local governments and for their national governments. But the national governments give up those rights, and in doing so, they give up their own laws. They give up their own rights to regulate social justice, their own rights to regulate the environment, to protect their forests, to protect their oceans, to protect the water and the food of the people in the country.
Krill, please tell us, what is your take on this?
It's fundamentally an equity issue. The global north produces most of the pollution. In the United States, for example, is responsible for 25% of the global warming pollution in the world. And yet the United States is not signed on to Kyoto. We have not taken any governmental or intentional steps towards reducing our greenhouse gases. There have been some interesting voluntary steps that go nowhere nearly far enough. And the sad fact of global warming is that it's an equity issue, just like free trade can be an equity issue, where the rich get all the benefits. We get to drive our big SUVs, and we get to use our electricity whenever we want, and the poor suffer all the consequences.
We go to Roselena Ramirez, a journalist from Telesur.